Join two sisters who explore the couples that fandoms adore. We write their stories in the night, in the glow of computer light. Eyes connect, clothing flies. In our head, canon love never dies. Stencils that leave us pining. In deep forums, we are mining. For this journey, better strap in, because we all know that shit happens.
Welcome to the podcast that explores the couples fans can't stop dreaming about from the pop culture you love. Because when it comes to everyone's favorite cheerleader chosen one, ship happens!
We're your host. I'm Emily.
And I'm Rachel. She likes nerd culture.
And she likes making podcasts. So we thought we'd join forces to make a podcast about popular online ships.
And the best ships are the ones you send us, so be sure to send us the couples that get you hot and bothered to our email at shiphappenssisters@gmail.com. And we got a big topic today that we're going to jump into. But before we do, I want to know, Emily, who are you shipping this week?
So my ship this week, I have been consuming the media we're about to talk about like it's my job. Like
Truly.
I have a second job, and it's watching this show. But I had to take a break last night because I had to catch up on the new season of Dimension 20, which I have talked about before. It's You watch people play D&D. So I know I wanted to talk about it on this podcast. So I had to Google. I had to get online to figure out what are the ships, because I am just not creative like that. Like I just don't see it. I need your guys' help. So I went and I looked. I was like, who are we shipping on Cloudward Ho, which is the new season of Dimension 20. And the one I came across was Maxwell and Torse. So horse, but with a T. And I was like, okay. Like they had one. So at the time when I first saw this, I was like, they had one genuine conversation, because they're both kind of like serious characters compared to everyone else on the show who's very wacky.
Okay.
So, you know, they kind of have that like straight man in common type thing. I was like, oh, they really, people will ship after one, like, conversation. Okay. But then in the next episode, they start with Torse being brainwashed and, like, trying to run away. And so then Maxwell spends the whole episode getting to him, and then he snaps him out of the brainwashing by being like, I'm your friend. And then Torse goes unconscious, and then he spends the rest of the episode keeping him safe and, like, protecting him. I know.
That's so
like,
sweet.
Is there something here?
I think there is now.
Now, yeah. And then the most recent episode, Torse comes back from being unconscious, and they're both like, hey, my friend.
Oh,
I'm so glad you're back. So I was like, shit.
That's a good one.
The thing is, Torse is an automaton. So,
Well, stranger things have happened.
yes, yeah.
Love finds a way.
I'm still rooting for it.
Maybe he will teach him to feel.
Well, that's his whole thing. Yeah, he can feel. His art, it's so cute. He's like this big scary robot, and then he's like holding a bug, a little like butterfly.
Oh, okay. I love him. I like that. I don't have the room in my life for Dimension 20, but I just like hearing about it.
Yeah. It's so fun.
But I am also mainlining content and on the prowl for ships because I'm like, I got to bring something to the table. That's not the construction workers I witnessed. But the one that's sticking in my brain lately is I'm forcing it because I'm on book like 4 or 5 of Dungeon Crawler Carl, and I'm like, I'm making a ship happen. Like, there's no way around it. I don't read 5 books and not be able to talk about it on my podcast.
I need credit. I need acknowledgement.
Yes, guys. And look, I'm just like you. I'm reading nerdy books about video games. I'm trying to learn.
Ooh, you got books and video games. Yeah.
Yeah,
just like
that's
us, the nerds.
Yep, because that is what Dungeon Crawler Carl is about. Man gets sucked into a real life video game for the entertainment of aliens around the galaxy, and there's not a lot of romance in it because they're all fighting each other, trying to stay alive. But anyways, Carl's in there with his former pet cat, who's now sentient and is his partner and queen, princess, royal entity that he serves. And along the way, they pick up this other crawler who they're just supposed to keep for a little bit. And then she ends up sticking around long term, and she's growing on me. I was kind of like, get this bitch out of here. We don't need her. Her name's Katya, and she is kind of being presented, I think there's a little something happening between Carl, the main character, and her, because they're both very like practical. He had this like high maintenance kind of like stereotypical girlfriend in the life before the video game dungeon, which is one of my few criticisms. I was like, this cliche is played out of the girlfriend who is like, I want you to propose, but I'm also cheating on you. It's a very like early 2000s rom-com bad partner situation. Anyways, but she's like the opposite. She's hashtag not like the other girls. But she's also a big honkin' like rock lady at times. But she's had a good arc where she starts really being kind of scared and timid, and now she's growing into herself. And I feel like there's a lot of values overlapping between the two of them. So I think a romance might be blossoming, because he's also got 8 books to fill. So come on, like, you gotta have something.
It's gotta go somewhere.
I keep looking for any female characters, and she's the only one. And I'm like, okay, the way he's talking to the characters talking about her now, I'm like, I think this is going to be, I think they could be happy together. I think they could be good. So I am shipping Dungeon Crawler Carl and Katya, and I think that maybe they'll get together, and then they could be the parents for the princess kitty cat. I also think Dungeon Crawler Carl is going to be my Halloween costume, so stay tuned for that. But maybe we'll get social media so I can actually share a picture of that. Any hoodle, we're out here. We're doing the Lord's work, not only learning about the ship the ships, if you didn't notice, that we're talking about today, but also out here searching for ships in the real world. We're honing our skills.
Yes. I know.
As we said last time, love is around. We just have to find it.
Yeah, we just don't see it.
We're becoming finders.
Yes.
Love finders. And our heroine of the series that we're talking about today, she's good at finding love. She finds love all around.
In the least likely of places.
Alleys, mostly. But we are doing, in time for spooky season, a 2-part spooky series on cult classic Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
The once in a generation chosen one, the Slayer. We should do this once in a generation. There is one that is chosen. Hulu will not let me skip this.
Wow.
I just want to skip the theme song. So yeah, once in a generation, chosen one, the Slayer. So she's meant to protect us mortals from the monsters of the night, mainly vampires, and with some varying success. I think overall she kicks ass, but she's not killing every vampire out there, that's for sure.
She's very reactive. It's not necessarily proactive, because she does win in the end all the time. But that path to victory is usually blazed in the blood of Sunnydale residents.
Right.
And it's so much so that it's like a joke among the show. It's kind of like breaking the fourth wall a little bit, including when Oz, one of the Scooby Gang originals, finds out that vampires are real and abundant in Sunnydale. His response isn't to freak out. He just says, oh, that actually makes a lot of sense.
Right. There's something where they don't quite process what's happening, but they still know that a lot of kids like die the night before a school dance, and they still just
people be dying.
Have the dance. But even in one of the dances, the prom, Buffy wins class protector for her graduating class. And the announcement is that the class has had the lowest mortality rate of any class in Sunnydale. And they're like pretty sure it's because of Buffy. They don't really know what's going on, but she's always kind of there when it happens. So.
Well, that's a far turn from her principal thinking she was a murderer, but that's just how it always works, because she comes in and saves the day, but society doesn't quite understand. She always gets kind of the bum rap. She had to switch schools after she burnt down her old school's gym when vampires tried to, I think, attack a school dance. I have seen the movie, but it was a long time ago.
Oh, is that the reference? They're like, call back. Oh, that's so funny.
Yes. The worlds kind of coexist, but different actors, different actresses.
Yes.
And like the same sequence of events happens, even if it's not quite the same universe. I think the fan accepted explanation is it's like an AU type thing, which I'm like, just don't think about it that hard.
No, it's fine.
It's fine. The movie, I think, was like cult classic, but the TV show was very popular in its time.
Yes.
I think it started in 1997, ran to 2003, with 4 to 6 million people tuning in for each new episode.
Yes, which doesn't make it the most popular show at the time, but it was the biggest hit on the WB. Remember
Hell yeah.
the WB?
Yeah, before it became the CW.
Right, now it's the Riverdale channel. But this was kind of the teen hit before then.
Yeah, before many other teen hits between.
Yeah, it's kind of the teen hit
starter
network. So the show features a kind of monster of the week type episodes mixed in with an arc that covers the entire season that leads to that showdown with the big bad in the finale. So she never quite prevents the apocalypse entirely. It gets to the last moment and then it'll make it work. The kind of draw to Buffy, you watch her and her friends, the Scoobies is what they call themselves, and they save the world from evil over and over with kick-ass fights and then witty one-liners. It's a very like funny kind of irreverent. Is that the word?
campy, right? I
Yes.
think that's the word that the youth would say now. It's a campy show because it's
Yes.
like very serious, but it doesn't take itself seriously. Like a fellow classmate will die in front of Buffy and she'll just like joke about it to the vampire or whatever.
Yep. I'm still pretty.
Yeah, at least I'm pretty.
Yeah.
Which is like very early 2000s, late 90s.
Yeah,
humor.
that's from the big bad of the first season.
I might be dead, but at least I'm pretty.
Yeah. So very funny, but then it does throw some real crazy twist at you. You just read about these episodes, like you just read the episodes without following the plot, and you're just like, what is happening? They're singing? What?
Oh, gosh.
It really just throws some crazy twist. And then there's some intense, heartbreaking moments as well. She really does be going through it, but she makes time, as any teenage girl does, for some romance. And it's these romances that have the people still talking to this day.
And this show obviously was popular. It may not have been the top of the charts, but it's definitely top of the hearts of the people who did like it. And I saw this sentiment echoed in a lot of the online discourse around it, where they presented these huge challenges of fighting vampires, but through the lens of a teenager. So it was all like very still teenager focused. And people said Buffy and her friends felt like their friends. Like the struggles and the dynamics they faced were similar to what teenagers were facing in real life. And maybe that's why this show also has a special place in my heart, because I first watched it as a teenager. I was a big loser in high school. So I spent my entire senior year spring break at home watching Buffy with my mom. And I remember being a little ashamed of that fact back then. But in hindsight, and as a mom now, I'm very grateful for that time. It's a very wholesome memory. But I remember liking it at the time. It was like a fun kind of like, we were invested in it. We were watching it every night. I don't think I walked away a diehard fan, but I remember enjoying it and like thinking about the themes and like agreeing with the level of emotional intensity that she was giving to these romantic interests of hers. And apparently it stuck out in my pop culture wheelhouse so much that it was something that I bonded over with my other podcasting partner and friend Laura from my other show on hiatus, Impolite Society, because she is a huge fan and she and I bonded over that when we first met. And I also feel like she deserves a consulting credit on this episode because I've asked her so many questions just about how the Buffyverse works, because there ain't the time for me to learn it all.
It goes deep.
One of the things that we had talked about early on was like this shipping dichotomy, right? Whose side were we on? And I definitely had a crush on one of them. I mean, I liked his I'm not going to give it away. Well, we haven't introduced the characters, so I don't feel like I should say their names. But one of them has a real bad boy attitude and a fake British accent. And the fact that he still came out like pining and like swooning over Buffy, that made him tops in my book. So my friend Laura, who's in the other camp, she actually got me a cameo from the actor who played my crush in the show. Do you know what cameo is?
Yeah, it's when you pay actors to like record a little video where they just say like, "Hi, happy birthday."
very sad. Sorry. But we had, the actor that I liked, James Marsters, who we'll get into it, but he plays Spike. So, hey, I'm a Spuffy fan. It was a hard watch. Laura showed it to me in a restaurant, and I'm like, please turn the volume down. I was like, I can't watch this. Because then you see a 60-year-old version of this character reciting the same bit that he does for all the Buffy gals. And, it just... Watching somebody you had a crush on whore themselves out for $20, it just killed any lingering crush you may
and
have.
He's not Spike, right? He's
the
James.
Actor. Yes.
Yeah.
And he's had the thing, he's like, if you're a Buffy fan, I think I can guess 3 things about you. And it's like, you say this to all the girls, literally. But it is funny, and it was a very memorable birthday gift.
Okay.
But I'm a Fairweathered fan, right? When I'm watching it, I like it. I'm not like a diehard on the message board.
Didn't become part of your personality.
No, not as much as other shows that I've watched.
Yeah. That you quote all the time.
Frequently.
So I was not around that spring break.
You were off in college.
I was in college. I don't think I ever watched Buffy. I don't really have any experience besides just what I've absorbed through just the zeitgeist. I know all the names, Faith, Tara, Willow.
Oh, yeah.
I must have seen some because I know who the Scoobies were, but no real memory of ever sitting down to watch it week to week. I did see there's an episode with a ventriloquist dummy, and I do have a specific phobia of them. So I don't know if that's the cause or if it was a different episode.
Tracks.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
Tracks.
If I saw the Buffy episode and now I hate them, but really, the show that I have the most experience when I think of Buffy, I think of this show as well, and that is Bones.
I can't watch Buffy without, but I'm like, what is Detective Booth doing here?
Sealy Booth.
Macking on children.
It was difficult
You're
for
cheating
me
on Temperance. Get back to her.
to watch Buffy and not be like, why is this grown-ass man hanging around? It's just,
he looked 30 for a long time.
Yeah, I don't think he was. I think he's 27 or something at the start, and he looks older.
That is a grown-ass man.
Like, Joyce, what are you doing? Kick that man out of your house.
Yeah, that comes around sniffing around your daughter no.
Right, she throws him out after we were getting too deep, but he turns evil. I'm like, Joyce, you should have done this a long time ago. Could not let this grown man around your 16-year-old daughter.
Oh, man. But yeah, I do like Bones. I probably have seen Bones a lot more.
Yep.
Because wherever you are, whenever, no matter the time of day, Bones is somewhere on cable. You can find it. I know because we spent a lot of time in the hospital with my kids, and we only watched Bones because it's always on, and it's good.
Yeah,
highly recommend.
There's ships there.
We'll have to get to that eventually.
But yeah, that is my limited experience with Buffy.
Oh, okay. Well, that changed this week.
Yep, this week.
So what are we doing here, right? Why is this going to be a 2-part? Why are we talking about 2 characters? Well, as I mentioned, this is our spooky season special. We are digging deep, and we're doing this in 2 parts to get to the bottom of a decade-long fandom debate.
Decades, too.
Yeah, decades-long fandom debate. This is the singular biggest divide in the Buffy the Vampire Slayer fandom. And that is, who is Buffy's OTP? One true pairing for those of us not in the loop.
Who should Buffy be with? Who does she belong with?
Who's the better partner for her, better romantic partner? And it might seem silly because she's all about girl bossing, independent girl power. That was kind of a main theme of the show. But also, we just can't let it go because she has a couple. She has several love interests, but these 2 are really big love interests, and we just can't. We, the fandom, I'm including myself now, can't let it go because there is such a strong difference in opinion on who she should be with in the end.
Right. They're similar enough where criticisms of one kind of applies to the other, but also they're
vastly different.
They're the 2 kind of lead love interest stereotypes, right? You have the brooding, the burdened, the tortured with the tragic backstory. And then you have the witty, sarcastic, but also kind of burdened with the tragic backstory.
Yeah, you got depressed and you got depressed with the personality.
Yeah.
Which, okay, I'm starting to get into my side here. So what we're going to do, we're going to get into this and we're going to settle this debate for all. We are going to each take a side and we are going to explore the many facets of what makes a ship good, right? All those things we normally talk about. But we are going to look at them for each of these two characters, and then we're going to decide which ship reigns supreme in the Buffyverse and who gets the final rose from our bachelorette Buffy. Because we know who's not here today to get a rose, who already didn't get it, and it's Riley. Bye, Riley.
The least interested. Nobody cares.
And probably the most actually good for her.
But she wasn't into it. She just, even she was like.
She loves the drama.
She's like, I can't, yeah.
So we've talked a lot about Buffy. We talked a lot about the heat between the two factions of the fandom. But we haven't even introduced our love interest yet. We've talked about him a little bit. I liked how you summarized the key differences between them. But let's dig into the two bachelors.
Yes.
Vying for Buffy's heart.
Here. So I can go first with our first love interest. And that is Angel. He's your original tortured, sad boy vampire, played by Mr. Bones himself, David Boreanaz.
And it was really funny because I was reading about the archetypes here, and I saw him described as the 1990s trope of that older coffeehouse intellectual that gets the girl in the end. I'm thinking in the vein of Clueless, right? Mm-hmm. But the obstacle in this case is that he's just a vampire. So
yeah. That makes it make a bit more sense because it's kind of he's just kind of around.
Yeah, they just adapted the trope or love story that was popular at the time.
Yeah,
and they were like, but make it vamp.
But make it vampire.
Vamp it up.
So what is his story? Why is he burdened? Why is he so sad? So he was once kind of a selfish party boy back in 1700s in Ireland named Liam. And when he has a run-in with our girl Darla, and he's turned into a vampire. So as a vampire, he leaves Liam behind and he takes on the name Angelus because he is a monster with the face of an angel. He's one of the worst out there. He's killing and murdering all over the place. So
he's just doing a murder all over the place.
Murder everywhere. Basically. So for about 100 years he is the monster. Specifically seems to target young women up until he targets the wrong young woman because he does murder this poor girl. But turns out her family got magical powers. So they curse him with a soul. So now with his soul, he has regret. He feels guilty for all the murders he's committed. And with all that guilt, what does he do? He just kind of sulks for 100 years.
For 100 years. He just kind of feels bad for himself.
Yeah, eats rats. Literally.
Hey, that's a service, I guess.
Yep. So yeah, for the 100 years, he just kind of mopes. But then he meets the current Slayer, our girl Buffy. And when he sees Buffy, he gets a new purpose. He gets something to live for, and then he kind of comes up with a way to make amends for all the terror he has wrought in the past by opening a private investigation agency in his spinoff, Angel.
Yeah, he gets his own TV show, which I would never have pieced together from his performance in Buffy, but apparently he does way better on Angel.
Yeah, really, he's pretty good, yeah.
Also, in that flashback where he's seeing Buffy for the first time, who is letting a spray-painted black car come into a high school parking lot and just leer at the students? That's so weird. Nobody clocked that,
right? Because he can't get out. He can't go out in the day.
Only indirect sunlight or something. I don't know. They have the car spray painted.
Right. That's how Spike gets around.
I know. It's
just squinting through the spray paint.
But okay, on the streets of LA, maybe, but in a parking lot of a high school, that's raising red flags, right? In the 90s, right? Isn't that the height of the stranger danger?
Yeah.
Anyways, that's neither here nor there. So
Yeah.
that's Angel, and Emily's going to be Team Angel for the purposes of this conversation.
Yeah.
I am taking up the helm of Team Spike. Spike. And Spike is the bad boy Slayer with 2 notches in his belt when it comes to killing Slayers. He was born William Pratt, a.k.a. William the Bloody, a.k.a. Spike. And he presents a tough exterior. He earned his name Spike after his proclivity for torturing others with railroad spikes. But we learned in later seasons that he's actually a tortured poet mama's boy who I saw described as the Victorian Niles Crane. Which also, I had a crush on Niles Crane. So that explains a lot. I have a type, though I was very much barking up the wrong tree with that actor. Very famously gay. So,
Well, that's fine.
but anyways, Victoria Niles Crane.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't stop him from going pretty bad after he gets that vampire bizzle bite. So his highlight reel of vampire achievements includes ransacking villages, eating an entire orphanage, which is a big old bummer, and of course playing with the heartstrings of many a lady, vamps and demon alike. Inhuman, maybe. I don't know. My heart, obviously. But to have no fear, he eventually gets an implant that makes him feel pain if he tries to hurt a human. So that big bad of season 2, right, becomes a big old puppy dog. And this allows him to spend a lot of time with the Scooby Gang and, of course, get closer to his new paramour, Buffy. And I should mention that Angelus is actually Spike's vamp granddaddy, because he changed the vamp who changed him, who's Drusilla, who plays a big part through the series, but I don't know her full story arc.
Yeah, Angel seems to have something about young women kind of, he develops, maybe we'll get into it,
Yeah.
kind of obsession with them. Yeah, or Angelus, the evil one. Angelus is when he's evil, Angel's when he's nice.
Yes.
So
When he
yeah,
has a
Angelus,
soul, he's just Angel.
yeah, changed Drusilla after torturing her and killing her whole family, and then I guess Drusilla changed Spike. They got some goofy stuff going on, all three of them.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you want in a romantic lead is like family annihilating, mental torture.
Yes.
Look out, Angel. I'm coming for you. No. But I also want to point out, in doing this research, both of these love interests have the same name. William, Liam. That's the same name. Just slightly different flavors. That is all. While their names might be the same, they're very different, and they elicit very strong reactions in those differences amongst the fandom. This is not our first, but this is one of our most heated shipping wars, and it plays a big part in the fandom, right? And it started back in the Wild West of fanfiction.net, where the community clashed over who they thought Buffy should end with. So if you put the wrong story out there with the wrong /fiction, that could get your profile harassed online or reviewed bomb by the members of the opposing faction.
So they just see one, I don't like this, thumbs down.
Yeah, they're like, I don't like this couple. They're not, and then if you write about the wrong one, it's like boop 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 boop. That's sad. If you put a lot of effort into a fanfic, it's mean to do that. I think Buffy was leading the charge, as we'll talk more about. This led to a lot of debates around which ship canonically would happen, as well as which one is the better of the ship, which is what we're digging into today.
Who really has a chance and who is really like the best for Buffy.
Right. And who would think that a topic like this would get people so heated? But it did. People were throwing around all kinds of words, and they're still throwing them around to this day on Reddit.
While it started in the early 2000s on these forums and on fanfiction.net, it's still happening to this day on Reddit. You can go onto the Buffy subreddit and see the same arguments. And honestly, maybe even more, because I feel like people, as society has changed, certain things are maybe less acceptable than they were before.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe things come down a bit harsher some, like, people like to throw around certain words like toxic.
Oh my gosh. Grooming. Maybe like those kind of things. And as well as some really weighty words as well. These are heavy concepts. But apparently they were okay on network television back in the day. But the conversation continued in places like Twitter and Tumblr, where people be not only able to like quip at each other, but then also make essays, right? Do think pieces about these relationships.
Yes, doing research, honestly, I didn't see so much on Reddit, but you go on Tumblr and it's just paragraphs and paragraphs about who is right for Buffy, why, if you think someone's right, you're wrong, how you're misinterpreting the whole medium as a whole.
Not only
vampires.
Yes, you don't get the analogy of a vampire. Which I should say, when we're talking introducing Angel and his soul problem, like, that is a huge piece of this conversation, is how does a soul affect a vampire? How much of the human is left in the vampire? It's like a whole thing that is up for debate. Because as Buffy spells out clearly in season 2, when a vampire changes you, you die. You're dead, and they just set up shop in your body. But that doesn't seem to be the case. Maybe more so with Angel, but there seems to be a little bit of like back and forth there. The life has influenced the afterlife, and some say. What do you call that? The living death.
Yeah.
And that is what we'll get into probably in the next episode a lot about.
What is a soul? Because people who have souls also do terrible things and don't feel remorse. So
that's fair.
What does it mean? Anyway, they didn't get into it in the show, so here we are 2 decades later still talking about it.
I don't know if Joss Whedon had put those two thoughts together or he just made a show to get closer to teenage girls, but we took it and ran with it.
So after the show, just to add some more drama, some less clarity to the ships, there was a comic continuation after the show ended, and that also kind of threw a wrench into it, adding fuel to the fire of exploring Buffy's relationship with both men, sometimes contradicting the show, and just really, kind of adding some more flavor to the drama.
Which we will say, we did not consider that at all. We are just looking at the show. That is our source material because it's plenty for our purposes. But this exploration of both sides and like both relationships that led fans to accuse the writers of favoritism. And now, of course, we get to debate what is true canon. Is the comic real or not? Does it count?
Well, I haven't read any of it, so it's not going to play into it.
It doesn't exist in my world.
Yeah, so
unfortunately. No. And if you came here dying to hear about the comics, I'm sorry, you're not going to.
And it is the era of the podcast. So, of course, there are many a podcast these days of rewatching Buffy, an episode,
Sure.
Yes.
Many. We could name them, I'm sure. I can't name them.
I was looking for a podcast, but when I realized it was by episode, I was like, that's no, I could just watch it.
Yeah, at that point.
And
it's just like, I used to do that and earlier in research, but then I'm like, I'm just repeating what other people are saying that already exists. They're like, what am I adding to the world right now? So I'm like, I'm going to form my own opinions. And now here we are in the grand scheme of the Spuffy Bangal debate. We are now the latest and is to enter its great halls.
So before we get into the meat, the actual competition portion of this episode, just kind of summarize our 2 heroes here. So we have Angel. He kind of embodies, like I've said, that brooding. He's cursed. He's burdened. He's so tortured by his past.
But morally led, right? He's still noble. He's like,
yes,
he's going to do the right thing. If
the heart of gold's buried in there. Yeah.
But he's still dangerous, You can't trust him fully. That's what makes him exciting.
But Buffy Angel's love is doomed from the start. You have, the Slayer and the vampire, and then you find out that with his curse in his soul, that she literally makes him too happy. And if he becomes too happy, he turns back into Angelus and is evil. So they can't be together, because then he might become the monster instead. It's very angsty. It's very dramatic. But also, he is her first love. He is her first, I guess, boyfriend. First, the big one.
First, yes. Hearing them talk about that, or like how they talked about losing your virginity back in the 90s, I was like, this is hilarious.
Right. Whereas you have like now on the CW, Riverdale. They're all sleeping around. I don't know if this is like because I'm old now or if like the times have changed.
Old times, they are changing.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
That's what made it relatable to children, right? Because it felt like a life-altering event.
But yeah, so for Buffy, Angel is a lot of her first. They're also lovers separated by fate. They just can't make it work.
Right. Their love is so pure, but circumstances just keep getting in the way.
Yes, they just can't happen. And then you also have the trope redemption through love. Angel's soul is the constant reminder of his struggle for goodness.
Right. And so these tropes that wrap them up are kind of at the heart of why the debate exists, right? Because they kind of stand in juxtaposition to each other. I saw somebody describe, but if Buffy and Angel's love is mythical, right? It's like that level of high romance. But Buffy and Spike are messy, right? They're more like realistic. No, I don't want to say realistic because please God, no. But they're not on a pedestal, right?
Right. That's what to say. Yeah, Angel and Buffy are on a pedestal. They're kind of like pure soulmate type love. Yeah.
The best of the best. But then Spike and Buffy are kind of the couple that grows together and can make each other better, which is why I tend to gravitate to that kind of stuff. So when we think of Spike, he's like the archetypal anti-hero, which we all love an anti-hero these days. But we also like the fact that he's redeemable. He is a redeemable monster. So he comes in being a big bad guy. He's kind of a chaotic force, only thinking about himself and his interest. But that changes through his love. And also he presents Buffy a safe space, like a way to project her own darkness onto, because obviously being a Slayer for however many years she's a Slayer, like that's gonna do some damage to your there's psychology there. So she is able to like embrace that side of herself through Spike, and this relationship is grounded in both of their existential struggle, right? And what is finding meaning in this kind of thing, in the emotional evolution that they have, overcoming these really like shit circumstances, and how they can find happiness and love out of that. So it's like, real world shit, but with vamps. And they do have a lot of good tropes too. Like, let's be real here, because they're definitely enemies to lovers, right? We get really good redemption arcs. And then another kind of trope I haven't heard of is toxic but transformative. So it's painful, messy love, but it's deep and it's human and it's real. So that's what, you gotta have the, God, this is going to make me sound so relatable and normal. But that painting of Aristotle and Plato or whatever, when they're walking and one is pointing up to the air because he's got his head in the clouds about ideals and what life should be. And the other one's pointing to the mass of people because he's like, grounded in the real world. This is literally that dichotomy at play through a 90s, early 2000 teen melodrama. And we're going to solve it.
And we're going to tell you right now who's the best.
Who's the best, and how are we going to do it? Well, of course, by saying who is the better couple name. No, but that does factor in, because we're going to go through all the things that we normally talk about. We're going to evaluate them. We're going to use a very precise scoring system that we had drawn up by a team of actuaries. No, we're making this plain as we fly it. But all the same beats that we normally talk about, we're going to hit just over 2 parts, because it's meaty and it's juicy and there's lots to discuss. And I'm looking at our time and I'm already scared. Okay. So first up for the Angel Spike debate is their ship names. Emily, take me away. What's their name?
So starting, we have Buffy and Angel. Slap them together. Bangal.
Bangal.
That is their official ship name. I
Bingo
mean,
Bangle.
what? There's no better.
Yeah.
For both of these ships, they have very short names, so there's not like a whole lot to work with. Uffy,
Yeah.
Angeluffy, no,
You
Bangle.
You really can't do anything. It's unfortunate that it's a common term, so when you're Googling it or trying to find it, it's a little bit harder.
Yes,
That's all I'll say about that. And there's not even a ton of room to get creative with it. You know, not for these two. What you see is what you get.
Yep.
And that kind of summarizes their relationship.
So what do you got with Spike?
Okay, so brace yourself because it's good. No, it's not good. Both of these are really bad because likewise, you mash up Spike and Buffy, you get it's Buffy, which sounds like a bad infomercial product, but whatever. It's better than the alternative, which was Bike. Oh, you know you want to hop on it.
Oh.
I tried to think of a better name. I did. I got Spuff or Bluffy. I got the Slaker, like Spike and Slayer. And then I got real creative and went Bilfy because it's like William, Billy and Buffy, Bilfy. But yeah, you
Doesn't
really
make
can't.
any sense.
Well, William is his original name.
Yeah, but like you're not gonna know. Like that's.
I think the fans know. Okay, this one is the first competition, and this is probably going to be the hardest.
Yeah.
Because which one is better?
Bangal or Spuffy?
Who gets the point for this matchup?
I don't know. I think Bangal is better, but I will say at least Spuffy's mostly Buffy. So
That's true. And I feel like Spuffy's more recognized. Like if you said, oh, Bangle, I wouldn't think Buffy the Vampire Slayer, you know? But if you said Spuffy, I'm like, okay, yeah. Spike Buffy. I'm biased, though. Bangle surely sounds more serious. Bangle. Okay, let's give Bangle the point for this one.
Bangal. I think Bangal's a bit better. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. I'll concede somewhere because I mean, Angel's gonna get some points.
Put the bang in Bangal.
Hey, okay, that's converting me.
Okay, that's what they do. Season 2. It goes bad.
Oh, yes, which we will definitely get into that more in part 2. Okay, so Angel and Buffy take the first matchup.
We have a slightly better name. But now we move on to our next section, our meet cutes or get the boot. So who has?
A good ship needs a good meet cute.
Yes. Who has the best meet cute? So starting with Angel. Meet cute. Episode 1. He is there from the jump. I didn't know this. I was kind of surprised to see him. For some reason I thought it happened later. But no, episode 1. Buffy. She is starting over in Sunnydale. She's kind of trying to avoid her destiny. She got into too much trouble killing vampires. She's like, I'm over it. But she can't. Her destiny follows her, literally, in the form of a tall, dark man kind of just lurking around. But eventually, we see him when he follows her into a dark alley. But in this dark alley, the hunter has become the hunted. And it is a trap set by Buffy. She's hanging out. She's like doing a handstand on top of a pole above him. She swoops down, kicks him in the face, and then proceeds to kick his ass.
Like every good love story.
So they exchange some banter. And then Angel does what Angel loves to do, which is to give a vague and kind of unhelpful warning about the trials to come.
That's classic Angel.
Yep.
If he's not saying some vague shit, it's not him.
He's like, hey, some shit's about to go down. Won't tell you where or when or what to do. But yeah, she says, who are you? He says, I'm a friend. She's like, you're not my friend? He goes, I'm not. I didn't say I was. He's just somebody's friend. Anyway, so
I
he
am
gives his
friend.
I'm a friend. Which is funny because he doesn't have friends.
I think he has one that we learn about, Whistler or somewhere. The guy who introduces him to preteens.
Yeah. But yeah, so at that they part, but not before he gives her actually something practical, a cross necklace that she does wear for the rest of the season, and then it kind of just enters her collection of cross necklaces she wears.
Good for her. She's like,
Yeah.
I gotta match up my accessories a little better.
I need some variety.
Yeah, fair.
But yeah, that's the meet cute. That's kind of how the rest of the season goes. Angel kind of lurks and gives warnings. And then I did think it was very funny. There eventually is the big reveal that he is a vampire. So I kind of thought it was funny there was ever a time where he wasn't a vampire to people.
That's actually a really good point because we watched it all in reruns and we all knew.
I already knew.
So yeah, he was mysterious. He did show up. Yeah,
And not inherently, not evil off the bat. Not, all of the other vampires are pretty much just biting immediately.
They go straight to their vamp face. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's not bad. I had forgotten some of the details of that, and now I'm a little nervous because I'm about to get into Spike's meet cute.
I think I have this in the back.
Damn it!
The Buffy seasons, Angel comes on strong.
In the beginning, that is
And then
totally fair.
Then there might be a drop off. We'll see.
You will see because Spike is. I don't think he's going to take this one either. Because the first time we see Spike, he's tearing into Sunnydale, like literally crashing into the welcome sign, and then he pops out of his spray painted car with his leather duster, lights up a ciggy, and says, "Home, sweet home."
Except has he been to Sunnydale before?
That is not established. We do know that he only does come to Sunnydale to help heal his then lover Drusilla. So, I mean, that's like good boyfriend material right off the bat.
It was a cool intro. Not a meet cute necessarily, but
It was
a
a
cool
meet cute
intro.
for us, the viewers.
For us, yes.
But Buffy, okay, this is also where it's cute. This is his cuter interaction with Buffy. So before they officially meet, he's stalking her. I mean, that's kind of par for the course in her life. But we get this sultry stare down as she dances in that weird teen club. And he moves through the crowd and he's just like sizing her up, but also kind of mesmerized by her. People retcon that one a little bit to say like, oh, he was aroused by it. But at the time it played of like he's just stalking her. I think it was meant to be more of like danger is constantly lurking and this big bad guy is right next to her and she doesn't even know. Mm-hmm. But we knew what was up. We knew the chemistry. We felt it sizzling off the screen. Their first conversation falls a little bit flatter though. Because Buffy goes running out, I think in some kind of circumstance where there is a vampire on the scene or she suspects a vamp situation's going down.
I think he sets it up. I think he says, go have a snack. And he kind of sends a minion out to get spiked.
Right. And so then she runs out to go like spike that guy. And then all of a sudden a figure emerges from the shadow. This is very familiar. It's a familiar beat. Only this time it's not Angel, it's Spike. So after she dusts his friend, which is stabbing them in the heart with a stake, turning them to dust, which is a nice narrative construct to explain why there's not just a bunch of dead bodies laying around all over Sunnydale, any more than there already are, because there's a lot of bodies laying around Sunnydale already. So the figure emerges clapping. He says, "Nice work, love." And the first thing Buffy says to Spike, "Who are you?" Fair. He says, "You'll find out on Saturday." She says, "What happens on Saturday?" To which she replies, "I kill you."
And then he runs away as Spike does.
Yeah, he spikes on out of there.
Angel gives warning and Spikes runs away after confronting Buffy.
Right, they each have their calling cards. Yeah. Angel's like just ominous and vague, and Spike's like,
I'm out. It got too serious.
and also believe this is happening in the same alley with kind of the same ominous and mysterious vibes as old vamp Granddaddy Angel. So apparently the apple doesn't fall far from the vamp tree, or alternatively, the apple doesn't flip far from the cafeteria tray to then be caught in the aesthetically cradled in two pasty white hands mirroring a famous book cover that inspired the movie that the scene is happening in. I'm surprised I got through almost the whole first episode without any Twilight references. Bella, where have you been, Loca?
I mean, the resemblance, I feel like with Angel and Edward is so strong. I could have put that more in the Angel. Because I said he is the original brooding vampire. And
Like,
he
we know
kinda
what
looks like him.
Stephanie, Stephanie Meyer was watching on TV. Come on. They
Oh,
do
they
look alike.
can't bang? Yeah.
Yep. That's true. That's true.
Even the outfit. Angel's just out there wearing those button downs.
And like that kind of like hunched over like look that he has. It's okay. Let's just say Edward is Angel.
Yes, yeah. They're pretty similar.
But
Those are our two lovers, our two heroes. But who is the most popular before we get into their true
Wait,
pros
we didn't
and
pick.
cons.
We didn't pick who won the meet.
Oh,
cute.
ooh, yes. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I think Angel wins.
Edward aside, I think in the meet cute, Angel is taking another victory
Yes.
because he actually is mysterious. He gives her a little gift, and he doesn't say he's going to kill her. Like, that's kind of a mood dampener, whatever way you spin it. And it's just like, a little bit cooler intro than just like, who are you?
Yeah. And I'm going to he doesn't even kill her on Saturday. He can't wait.
No. He can't wait. What was the point of that exchange? I guess to
Put her off her game.
build tension, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
He
No,
just
I
can't
think-
stay away from her, and that is very evident later on. So then maybe it's a little bit romantic.
So I do think Angel wins this one. I kind of
Yeah.
feel like the meet cute for the Spike romance is really the like finale of season 2 when Spike that's the first time they kind of work together to take down Angelus. That was more the meet cute of the romance, but
Unfortunately, it
moment.
doesn't count.
yeah.
Okay, so now we got Angel 2 for O over here. we need a comeback. And I think we're going to get a start on that comeback with our third and final competition of today's episode. And that is looking at which couple inspires the fans a little bit more. And so we are going to look at fan fiction and which couple gets a little bit more love in the stacks.
Specifically the stacks of AO3 because that is the website we know how to use.
I am a child of the new internet. I can't use forums. I don't have the skill set.
No.
I only
No,
can
and
use
so-
search bar.
So there may be a blind spot there, but even though this has been a thing for, since
The 90s.
97, it's still a thing now. So, I feel like it's still representative.
We have a finger on the pulse.
Yes. So in AO3, if you look up Buffy, there is up to almost 40,000 fanfics tagged with Buffy.
Which that's one of the higher ones. I think Harry Potter had over 100K though, didn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
So I think respectable within the world. Mm-hmm. Within the world of fanfic.
Yes.
And of those, nearly 6,500 are tagged Spike/Buffy Summers. And some of those stories, like the top ones, have upwards of 100,000 hits and lots of kudos. And Emily, tell me how many Angel has.
So Angel is sitting pretty at 2,612 fan fiction. So
less than half.
third. A third of what Spike has. But maybe it's just not necessary. The
Because
romance is there on the screen.
It's complete. Okay.
Yes.
I mean that's what is the words of somebody who has less than 1,000 more works than Faith and Buffy together. So what's that one
That
called?
was
Fluffy?
the kind of other ship I wanted to check out. While looking into these two ships, I also saw a lot of shipping with Faith, and I kind of wanted to see how that stacked up. And that's at 1,700. So
catching up
yeah,
to
respectable.
your guy, your horse.
And then just because I wanted to know, and how I know how the shippers work.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to see Angel and Spike together, and they're at 1,300. So not bad.
You know,
Not as high as the other ones. But really, out of the
that
40,
would color me interested.
yeah,
Color me interested in that.
you know, I watched some of the episodes with them together with Drusilla. You know, some freaky shit was happening.
Yes, because they were running all over the world, the four of them, with this other character named Darla, who I have not really delved into what her role in this.
She dies pretty early.
Okay. They were all banging. I feel like that's what vampire, like the Stephanie Meyer world where the vampires were celibate. Basically, that is just like, what else is there to do? I feel like it's much more.
That was just an Edward thing. You did not read Midnight Sun. You did not go through what I went through. Why do you think Edward's so good at the piano? He had to drown out
all the sounds. Oh no!
His sibling and parents
bum,
just going at it.
Bum 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 bum.
I had to read that, so y'all have to learn about it.
Please tell me you didn't pay for it. Okay, you got it from the library.
No, I got it from the library.
I can't believe they actually printed that. Somebody put that in a book and bound it.
Oh yes.
Well, I guess
it's longer than Twilight. It's the story of Twilight, but it's longer than Twilight.
But longer.
And I had to speed read the back half of it because I was like doing 2 days.
You probably didn't miss much.
No. I mean, I still think about it. It might have impacted me more than Twilight.
Because how bad it was?
Yeah, just the crazy shit. What is it? She cries. And he like wipes the tear from her face and eats it. And he's like, now this will be in me forever.
Oh no.
This is what made me understand the true terror in Twilight is being trapped as a perpetual 17-year-old.
That, okay.
Like, really,
fair.
Carlisle is a monster, and that is why.
Because you force those children to stay in that teen
to be
state
perpetual
forever.
Teenager, yeah. Hell on earth.
Fair. Oh man. But okay, so apparently the Twilight vamps are freaky. And so are the vampires in What We Do in the Shadows, which is another couple we covered.
Yes.
And I mean, like, if you got eternal life and you're awake at night, you don't sleep, like, what else are you going to do, I guess? Mm-hmm. But a lot of people who are humans aren't sleeping at night either because they're up writing fan fiction. Because there's a lot of fan fiction out there. And when you look at the trends of them, Spuffy has a lot of consistent activity from like the early 2010s, I guess probably when AO3 started, right? Mm-hmm. And it's still active to this day with a lot of the works, like a good portion of them being published even within the past 5 years. And a lot of these recent stories are long form with 300,000 plus words and are being continually updated. So like these people are dedicated.
So while there are the Bangal fanfics out there, they do tend to peak earlier. And have slowed in recent years. So unfortunately, does not seem to have the staying power in today's time. Maybe it's those tropes, those enemies to lovers, that morally gray. That is the moment.
That hits now. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, the pure romance. There's just less to explore there. It is what it is, right? Mm-hmm. They're perfect together. And then that lends itself to less of exploration and more of like those shorter one-shot pieces as well, which is what you see.
Yes.
Buffy and Angel, they burned bright and they burned out. Like, let's just be real. Let's just put it where it is.
Their story is there. It's there in the show. It's unfortunately the story of a first love. It burns bright, but you move on.
You gotta open your private detective agency. I mean,
yeah,
like,
you gotta.
Who's going to solve all those presumable murders, I'm guessing?
Something with your immortality.
Other than eat rats.
Could have been doing that for 100 years.
Oh, man. I got to watch Angel now. This sounds kind of funny.
Vampire
detective.
Irish sidekick. He's cute.
Aww.
I watched it in an episode. And then Cordelia moves to Los Angeles as well and is in that show, and I quite enjoy her. So
she's my favorite, one of my favorite characters. Like, her and Spike might be tops because she's just like, and they both are very like antagonistic towards Buffy at times, but always have her back when it matters. And there's like, that's kind of nice. And and Cordelia is just icon, like just iconic. Love her.
Right? They act like she's so mean, but she's like spitting truth.
They're just not ready for it. So I think all in all, Spike is on the scoreboard after this one. Most
Yes.
stories, most recent, longest, and probably a little bit more interacted with, according to the stats. They often receive 5,000 to 10,000 hits, and the top stories have consistently hit over 20K hits with hundreds of kudos and dozens of bookmarks. So I think Spike finally on the board this time.
Gotta give it to you there.
So I'm looking at the time. This is where we got to put a bow on it for today. But just to rehash the scores, Angel is 2 to Spike's 1. So Angel is winning so far as being Buffy's one true pairing.
He's got the better ship name, the better meet cute, but Spike's on the board with the most fandom engagement and fanfics.
So how does Spike get the fans wrapped around his finger? That's what we're going to talk about next week when we do part 2 and we get kind of into the meat of the best moments between these two characters, as well as some high school debate style point counterpoint, I think is how we've decided to approach this. So buckle in. We are going to be duking it out to see who would win the fans' hearts as being the number one pairing. Well, let us know what your pairing scores for these two are, who you think is the best ship for Buffy, and it will in no way, shape, or form affect our decision in the next episode. We're not going to pander. We're not going to pander to you.
We do what we want.
Yeah, we're like Buffy. We're wild and free. And we dance out our pain. Well, that is where we are today. Join us in 2 weeks for our second part of this spooky season series around Buffy the Vampire Slayer, where we, once and for all, determine Buffy's ideal lover in the night because they're vampires and they can't go out in the day. Okay. We will see you then, because no matter what bumps in the night, bumps in the night, ship happens.
Ship happens.
That was painful.
Ship happens.
Hello, Rachel. This is James. Laura wanted me to reach out and wish you a happy birthday. Happy birthday, love. I'm glad you were born. I think I know something about you, Rachel, and that is that you are smart, you are funny, and you don't take yourself too seriously. The reason I know that this is true is because I've never met a Buffy fan that was any different. I thought that I would have Spike wish you a happy birthday, too. So here he is. Hey, Rachel, it's Spike. Happy birthday, girl. I understand that you Happy Meals enjoy a bit of a ditty on your birthday, so I'm going to give it a go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Rachel. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, pet.